Indeed. First of all, I've just spent the last 5 years as a councillor elected for a big working class area in West Dublin, and I had no illusions going in there that it was going to be the vehicle that would change the world. Quite the opposite. I believe that the struggle of ordinary people is what will change the government's minds, what will change the minds of the economists who run society, and what will change the minds ultimately of the council and how they behave. And so all the time that we're in council, and all of our candidates will acknowledge this, part of what we do is to be a voice for the people inside and to help mobilise and organise the anger outside the council chambers as well. So I'm really delighted that we, as well as having the stats that Richard gave on being an expanding party and having 40% women, we also now have candidates in Donegal, Sligo, Kerry, Cork, Waterford, Wexford, Wicklow and beyond. If I failed to mention any of the areas, I'm sorry about that, but there's an impression that People Before Profit is just a Dublin-based party. Quite the opposite. We're also running candidates in the local elections in Northern Ireland. So we're an all-Ireland party that's beginning to make a difference, that's beginning to grow. And just to reiterate what Richard said, I think the reason for that is that the level of anger against the austerity measures, the cuts, the blatant neoliberalism of this government, and in particular the Labour Party, runs very, very deep indeed in working class areas. And I do believe that Labour are going to get a trouncing in this election. It's not good enough to believe that. One has to also provide an alternative to them, and that's what all our candidates are here today to do. And when they return to their own counties and areas, that's exactly what they'll do. I do want to raise a point on democracy, because it never ceases to shock me how undemocratic the council chambers are. That every time we pass a motion on, for example, 3 times we voted against the privatisation of waste management, overwhelming vote against the privatisation of waste management, the manager says, it doesn't matter, I'm going to do it anyway. 3 or 4 times we voted against the continuation of the contract over Poolbeg, the manager says, it doesn't matter, I'm going to do it anyway. Quite recently we voted not to conduct a review into Dublin Fire Brigade with the purpose of looking at privatising it. The manager says, it doesn't matter, I'm going to do it anyway. But interestingly on the latter, the only thing that stopped him in his tracks was a march of several hundred fire brigade members, firefighters, ambulance crew and their families and their supporters up through the city, into the city council chambers, and an announcement from management that they would hold back on their plans. So it's very important that we understand there is very little democracy for the people who will be democratically elected to the councils all over the country from this party, but what they can do is to use the councils to mobilise workers and communities from the outside to challenge that agenda.